Have you ever heard of a place that exists only in memory, a town no map can find? Yet countless people swear they've walked its streets. They call it Ethelberg, the town that disappears. For sunset, imagine a charming, forgotten village nestled deep in an unnamed valley. Locals, or rather those who live asterisk near asterisk where it supposedly appears, whisper legends. They say Ethelberg materializes with the first rays of sunrise and dissolves into a thick, impenetrable mist the moment the sun sets. It's a place trapped between day and night, a fleeting dream you can almost touch. The stories are more than just folklore. They're laced with chilling warnings. Travelers who dare to enter Ethelberg as dusk approaches are never seen again. The next morning, their cars are found parked neatly along the country road, doors unlocked, keys in the ignition, but completely empty. It's as if their occupants simply evaporated. The only evidence of their presence is a fine layer of dust on the dashboard, settled as if the car has been sitting there for years, not hours. One of the most unsettling details shared by those who've made it out in time is the town clock. It stands in the central square, a grand old thing of brass and iron, but its hands are frozen. They are forever pointing to 6:59 p.m., eternally stuck just 1 minute before the sun finally dips below the western hills. Is it a warning? A countdown to nothing? Or is it the exact moment the town surrenders itself back to the void? During the day, Ethelberg feels almost normal, if a little eerie. The streetlights, for instance, behave backward. They flicker and buzz under the bright midday sun, casting a weak, unnecessary glow. But as evening draws near, just when you'd expect them to shine, they sputter and die, plunging the streets into an absolute, suffocating darkness the second true night begins. It's a darkness so total that visitors say it feels like it swallows sound itself. The strangest part isn't what's missing, but what's present. The houses in Ethelberg are not dusty ruins. They look lived in, freshly and urgently abandoned. You can peer through a window and see a dining table set for a family dinner, steam still faintly rising from the food. Fire crackles merrily in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Books are left open on armchairs, toys scattered on a rug. Everything suggests life is happening right now, this very second. But there is no one, not a single soul. The entire town is a perfectly preserved stage waiting for actors who will never arrive. In this age of constant connection, your phone is usually a lifeline. In Ethelberg, it becomes a source of terror the moment you cross the invisible town line. All signal bars vanish, GPS calls, internet all gone. But the device isn't completely dead. Sometimes, if you put the phone to your ear, you can hear something through the static. It's not a dial tone, it's a voice, faint and distorted, whispering a chillingly simple question. You're still here. Whose voice is it? And what do they mean? Law enforcement and paranormal investigators have tried to document the phenomenon. They've set up security cameras on the perimeter, hoping to capture the town's appearance and disappearance. The daytime footage is astounding. It shows a bustling town square, streets filled with men, women, and children going about their day. They laugh, they chat, they shop, they look completely normal. Then, at the precise moment the clock would strike 7 p.m., footage flickers for a single frame. In the very next second, the streets are utterly deserted. Not a single person is visible. The transition is instantaneous, impossible. The psychological toll on visitors is immense. Many who leave just before sunset report a final haunting experience. As they rush out of town, they catch their reflection in the dark glass of a shop window. But the reflection isn't just mirroring their movements. It's standing still, and slowly it raises a hand and waves goodbye. Some say the reflection is smiling sadly, as if mourning a departure it knows is for the best. Are you seeing yourself, or the self you would become if you stayed? And then morning comes. The mist that shrouded the valley all night finally recedes with the dawn. Where a town stood just hours before, there is now only an open, grassy field. No old clock tower, no charming houses, no cobbled streets, nothing. It's as if Ethelberg was never there at all. But if you walk out into that field, you'll find them. Footprints, dozens of sets leading from the road that cross the grass and stopping abruptly in the middle of nowhere. They lead into thin air, a final, silent testament to a place that exists on the very edge of reality. So what is Ethelberg? A collective hallucination? Pocket dimension bleeding into our own? Or a ghostly trap that feeds on lost time and lost souls? The only thing we know for sure is that if you ever find yourself on a lonely road and stumble upon a town that feels too perfect, too quiet, check the time, and whatever you do, make sure you leave before sunset, because in Ethelberg, the night doesn't just fall, it consumes. Thank you so much for joining me down this mysterious path. Have you ever heard of a place that simply ceases to exist when the sun goes down? A town that packs up and vanishes, leaving nothing but an empty, chilling void. This isn't just some campfire story. This is the legend of a town that disappears after sunset, and tonight we're going to explore its darkest secrets. Picture this, you're driving down a long, forgotten highway. As dusk approaches, you see it a small, unassuming town, but something feels off. The welcome sign. For instance, one traveler swore it read population 4,321 on his way in. On his way out. Just an hour later, it had changed in stark, hand-painted letters. It now read, population, you. This is just the beginning of the unsettling reality of this place. The few who've made it out before nightfall speak of a town that feels alive, almost organic. One survivor, trembling and pale, swore he saw the buildings themselves breathing, the walls expanding and contracting like a giant pair of lungs right before the entire town dissolved into the twilight. What happens if you don't make it out in time? Well, that's the real mystery. Those who have dared to linger speak of a whispering wind that carries the names of people who entered after dark, but it's not a gentle breeze. It's a haunting, sibilant sound repeating their names over and over, but in reverse. Imagine hearing your own name twisted and spoken backwards by an unseen force. It's a sound that chills you to the bone, a promise of what's to come. And don't bother trying to capture proof. Every single photograph taken within the town's limits fades completely overnight. All you're left with is a blank piece of photo paper, or a corrupted digital file showing only the faint, wispy outlines of shadowy figures where people and buildings once stood. The local lore, whispered in hushed tones in neighboring communities, offers a grim explanation. They say the town was built on a sacred burial ground, a place so ancient and desecrated that it cursed the very soil, swearing it would never see the light of day again. The town's existence is a mere illusion, a temporary mirage allowed only under the sun's watchful eye. As soon as that protection fades, the land reclaims itself, pulling the entire town back into the shadows from whence it came. It's a debt being paid day after day, sunset after sunset. This isn't a new phenomenon. Police, investigating a string of modern-day missing persons cases linked to the area, stumbled upon a weathered diary from the 1800s. The brittle, yellowed pages describe the exact same terrifying events, a town that vanished at dusk, people disappearing without a trace, and a strange, cold wind that whispered names. It seems this cycle of disappearances has been repeating itself century after century, a horrifying loop in time that no one can seem to break. It's as if the town itself is a predator and its hunting ground is the timeline of history. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect is the illusion of escape. You might think, just leave before sunset, but the town doesn't let go that easily. Travelers report that as the afternoon wanes, the roads begin to play tricks on them. Return, every attempt to leave somehow leads them right back to the same central intersection, the same town square they were so desperate to flee. The roads loop endlessly, a labyrinth designed to hold you until the sun finally dips below the horizon. It's a trap, and the walls are closing in with every passing minute. And then there's the bell. Precisely 7 p.m., a single mournful church bell rings out across the valley. It's a deep, resonant toll that seems to vibrate through your very soul. The horrifying part, the town's only church burned to the ground decades ago. Nothing remains but a blackened, skeletal foundation. Yet every single evening, the phantom bell rings, a spectral countdown to the town's disappearance. It's a signal, a warning, or perhaps a dinner bell. As the final moments of daylight tick away, an unnatural cold descends upon the town. It's not just a drop in temperature. It feels like the world's warmth is being actively drained away, siphoned off by some unseen entity. The air grows heavy and still, the kind of cold that seems to seep into your bones and extinguish any hope you have left. And then, in the final, breathtaking moment just before the town vanishes completely, a symphony of creaks echoes through the streets. Every door on every house in every building swings open at once. It's a silent, synchronized, and terrifying invitation, as if the entire town is holding its breath and welcoming someone or something in for the night. What do you think happens to those who accept the invitation? What lies on the other side of those open doors? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mysteries. Stay safe, and whatever you do, don't get caught out after sunset.